All right, next presentation, when you guys are ready, please go ahead.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the idea that high school kills creativity. So here's a general overview of what we're going to be talking about today. Something that our TED Talk speaker, Sir Ken Robinson, said was, we don't grow out of creativity, we're educated out of it. And these reasons are like, after school, a lot of things that are common to people is that we're afraid to be wrong, because we're educated that mistakes are the worst things that we could possibly make in school. School prepares us in a way for being university professors. Because Sir Ken Robinson actually said, if you look at school and see who comes out on top, it's university professors. If you looked at it from an alien point of view at why school exists. And arts are not valued in an education system because, students are discouraged from their passions because there's the whole idea that you won't get a job out of it because these classes aren't valued at a working class level.
So the first thing that Brady mentioned was you're afraid to be wrong. So if you look at kids aren't afraid to take risks. Like if there's a chance they don't know something, they'll just like take a guess and they don't care if they're wrong. Where as an adult, you're afraid to be wrong. You will avoid the situation if you know you're wrong, or if you don't you don't know. So if you remember, if you're in our first semester graphic design class, Tanya made us draw somebody near us. And after she told us to like show them, and that exercise was kind of like, after you showed the person like how you drew them, you were apologizing, like you were like not ashamed of your work, but like afraid to show it. Where if we were kids are like proud to show their work, where adults are like afraid to be wrong. So if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original.
So how we're taught, if you look at who comes out on top of the education system, it's university professors, so people who are in their heads. And students memorize things but don't understand it. So I don't know about you guys, but personally I don't remember pretty much anything I learned in high school that has to do with math or science. So when teachers teach students subjects like that, it doesn't always stick. So they might have to change the way that they're doing that. And students can start to value themselves based on grades. So when you take a test as a class, you always compare your grades to everyone else. And it's to make sure that you're doing better than everyone else, or you're not doing worse, or maybe you're average. And students are taught for the future, but we don't know what the world will be like in 5 years' time. So it's like the education system tries to kind of plan out like how our lives are going to go in the next few years, but really we need to know how to improvise and how to go with the flow and kind of adapt to how the world changes. And schools group students based off of academic achievements and qualities, so people are more likely to be given recognition if they're the top of the class in, say, math or science or English. People who enjoy art, like people may enjoy their artwork, but they don't really get a whole lot of recognition for it, and people just kind of brush it off as whatever, like it's not a smart thing, it's not math or anything.
So textbook writers, when they have to write textbooks for the schools for biology or math, they're told to be serious, or else their writing won't be deemed serious or trustworthy. So like with this, textbook writers, they write in a biased language, which is only kind of known to like professionals, and only they can know it, so it's kind of hard for students to understand what they're saying. And then writers are blundering, where they're unwilling to teach a more simplified way of thinking it, because they're told so much to write serious, or else it won't be correct, pretty much. And here's the example here. We're talking about bio class with DNA, where they say the viruses can start to make copies of themselves by putting themselves in DNA. And then in a textbook view, it's like this, which I don't understand that. And here's that same simplified version where we're referencing a TED Talk by Tyler DeWitt, where he presented this simpler way to understand viruses and DNA. A team of professors, they all tore apart his sentence saying finding multiple errors and everything, all things they could find was wrong with it. And there's like 3 words that weren't changed. That's there.
So, when, like, because the education system, deems math and sciences more important because that's the job, that's what, is gonna get you a job out of high school, then students are steered away from their passions like the art, like arts, music, dance, drama. Yeah, they just, schools put sciences and maths over top of everything else, so that's like the priority. There's also like a hierarchy, so like art and music is deemed more important than dance and drama. So even in the arts, there's like a hierarchy of like what's more important. One of the things Sir Ken Robinson said was they all came into being to meet the needs of industrialism. So like the classes that we teach, and that's not the case anymore. Like the world has changed, so we need to start changing our school system with it. The most useful subjects for work are on top, yeah, and students are steered away from that because it won't get them a job.
Alright, so we're gonna talk about how education systems are updated, kind of like what Brittany mentioned, because we're not taught real world skills. And we're referencing a video that a boy in a band released in 2015 called Don't Stay in School. He's an online person who makes raps, and this was his statement on the education